Good afternoon. It is a pleasure to have you on board. It is the 7th day of July, the year being 2024. 1 minute to the top of the hour East African time. Let us place you ahead of the curve. Matters news, but first, the highlights. Talai Council of Elders have condemned Saba Saba protest.
Saba Saba, no. Government, I'm telling the government, do your work.
Business owners in Laikipia County who suffered losses during anti-government protest want compensation.
So mujue hasara si mambo na mali peke yake. Hasara ni kuamka asubuhi, ulikuwa mwajiri, ulikuwa na biashara yako, sasa hauna kazi. So hasara ni kubwa zaidi.
Education stakeholders have called upon the government to repeal education policies of 2015.
We have drafted the 3 policies. The pre-primary policy of County Government of Bungoma 2024.
Once again, good afternoon. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Moige William. Now let us keep you up to date with the latest news from across all the 47 counties. Starting off, Talai Council of Elders from Nandi County have asked the government not to allow Saba Saba gathering, which happens every year. The elders from Nandi County claims that the gathering are organized by politicians in the opposition and fear that they may fuel more protest towards the president. The Council of Elders were speaking in Kapsisiwa village in Chesumei constituency, rather in Nandi County.
Let them cease. Saba Saba, no. Government, I'm telling the government, do your work. Democracy should be guided. Don't be so loose and expect people to do the right thing. Police should work.
Tarehe 7 wasifanye matata, wasifanye maandamano. Hatutaki maandamano, wazungumuze yale ambayo wanaweza kutujenga. Kama maandamano ya kuharibu, hiyo si maandamano, ni mapinduzi.
This president has good intentions for Kenya. And if he is given time to finish his term, and we ask everybody in this country to give him the chance to finish his term.
Au majensi wa Nandi, mimi niko open for discussion. Hii tennis inaweza rudishwa hapa hata kesho ama ile wiki nyingine iwekwe hapa, majensi wangu wakuja hapa tupange. Wazungumuze. Wasema iko shida hapa, hatutaki hii, tunataka hii. I am open for that discussion with my agencies.
Now, to matters education, whereby education stakeholders in Bungoma County have started the process of repealing the education policy of 2015 in order to make kindergarten education successful. As they say, this is when the education system has seen or witnessed changes. Well, speaking after a 3-day workshop that brought together various stakeholders from Bungoma County, led by John Mukenya, that is who is the coordinator of the Bungoma County Children's Right Network, they say that it is the right time to change the policy. Bungoma County Director of Education for ECDE and Vocational Training, that is Eunice Imbwenya, has said that some of the laws that stakeholders want to be changed are that of kindergarten education in 2024, health and nutrition for children, and vocational training.
The Department of Education in the county does not have the mandate to carry out any registration. So, and also we have seen that in the Act, we have regulations that are not speaking to the devolved functions. We have those regulations that are about to talk about education support scheme that is supporting learners who are beyond the mandate. That is bursaries and scholarships to secondary school learners. That is not a mandate of county government. It's a mandate of the national government under the Ministry of Education.
We have drafted the 3 policies, the pre-primary policy of County Government of Bungoma 2024, the health and nutrition policy 2024, and vocational training center policy. Apart from the policies, we were looking at the existing acts, ECD Act 2015, which out of the discussions that we have held in the 3 days have shown the loopholes, the gaps that are there while looking at the current trends in education as stipulated even in the Presidential Working Party.
Tunapeana changamoto kwa serikali na pia county assembly yetu kwamba kuwe na allocation za kutosha hasa kwa elimu ya chekechea. Utapata kwamba kuna pesa ambazo zilikuwa zimetengwa kwa kuweza kuajiri walimu wa ECDE, lakini wakati wa supplementary pesa hizo ziliweza kupeanwa kwa majukumu mengine. Hiyo ilikuwa ni kinyume cha sheria kwa sababu.
All right, and away from the matters education and in particular that is in Bungoma County, let us take a look to matters the anti-government protest that took part in across different parts of the country, whereby we are having a section of the youth in Tharaka Nithi County who have come out to castigate politicians in what they say infiltrated the peaceful youth-led anti-government protest. Speaking in Chuka, the youth said that despite the protest that had been largely non-aligned in the initial stages, political interest crept in and took over, leading to losses and anarchy. They now want the country's investigative structures to find and prosecute those who are allegedly funding violence and looting businesses across the country while pretending to be part of the protesters.
Kumekuwa na peaceful demonstrations country mzima, but kuna politicians wanatumia guns alafu wanajifanya ni Gen Z wanaharibu mali ya watu. Ni politicians mwache kutuma guns waharibu mali ya watu alafu mnajifanya ni Gen Z. Si. Kama kuna hidden agenda waseme, waacha kuficha mambo chini. Tunataka tu peace. Hii mambo ishe. We have lost lives. Tumepoteza properties. So hii mambo ishe.
Niko hapa leo kwa ajili ya Gen Z, na sisi kama Gen Z tumekasirika because we are in a peaceful demonstration. Alafu sasa ikakunja ikaingililia mambo ingine hapa. Kuna mtu anataka kufandi maandamano, lakini hapa ilirundi sasa akatugeuka. Sisi tunaenda kuharibu mali ya umma huko, lakini sisi hakuna kitu tunapata. Kuna wenye walikuwa napewa dhao, unaambiwa ni dhao 3, lakini sasa ikakuwa wewe unaenda kutupa siku yako huko bure. Hakuna kitu unalipwa.
Sisi vijana hatuko tayari kuharibu mali ya mtu. Ile kitu yenye iko tuko tayari kuongea dialogue na Ruto.
And retired Kenya Defence Forces officers under the umbrella of Kenya Veterans for Peace have called for the need of national unity in the country amid the anti-government protest led by Nelson Sichere. The ex-military officers emphasized on the need for peace in the country and harmony among Kenyan communities. They were speaking in Machakos County, where they extended a helping hand to their fellow retirees and families for officers who died in line of duty to cushion them during these hard economic times. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Moses Sande and beneficiary of the food program says they formed the organization after the 2008 post-election violence to call for peace among different communities. The program will extend across the 47 counties.
Ili kuhakikisha kwamba mara nyingi wakati tuko na mavurugano Kenya katika sehemu mbalimbali, haswa kutoka ile vita zilikuwa za 2007 post election violence, tunaingia sehemu mbalimbali tukijaribu kuhubiri amani na kuleta wananchi pamoja ili tutoe uhasama katika jamii zetu.
Tunasaidia familia, wajane wa veterans, kwa sababu kuna wale ambaye hawajiwezi na wanafanya kazi juu chini wakijaribu kujisaidia, na kwa sababu wengine waliwashwa na wazee wao walipokuwa kazini.
And we are happy particularly for the veterans across the country who have been supporting us, and we are hoping that moving forward we shall be making veterans to be more sustainable and not to rely on their stipends from the government, because it's not enough and sustainable for these elders.
In other news, the government has been challenged to adopt policies that will incorporate children living with HIV and AIDS and the orphans who reside in children's homes around the country in national development. Speaking at the 19th anniversary of the Talitha Kum Children's Home in Nyahururu Town, Laikipia County, keynote speakers stressed the importance of the society being well informed about the rights of children living with such conditions to give them equal chances at school, work and leadership.
Mahala hapa Na kwa hivyo tukiwa na hiyo mada,
watoto ambao wanaishi hapa wanaenda kwa mashule za kawaida, na zile shule ambazo ziko hapa around wameweza kuwakaribisha watoto wetu, ingawa kulikuwa na stigma. Watoto na ni baraka kweli kuwa na watoto, kwa sababu watu wazima wanaogopa, wanafikiria mambo mengi, lakini watoto wakiwa pamoja, wao hawajali. Hata kama mmoja wao wako na shida hii ama lingine, wanacheza pamoja. Kila weekend watoto wanaleta wazazi wao, wanaambia sisi tunataka sherehe yetu ya birthday tuifanyie tarehe 10. Kwa hivyo watoto wamefanya kazi ngumu sana ya kutusaidia kutransform, kutusaidia kubadilisha akili, mawazo kuhusu watu ambao wanaishi na ugonjwa wa ukimwi.
Lakini kupitia kwa hii community, wanapokuja hapa wanafunzwa na wanatunzwa. Pia tarehe 10 community and the staff inafanya kazi ya kuwapeleka katika community, na pia tunafunza community kuweza kukaa na wao.
Let us join together and give our children life.
All right, impeccable initiative there. Also, in a move that seeks to enhance sustainable food production in the western part of the country, Rongo University in Migori County is now leading a multi-actor engagement that involves training of local farmers as well as launching strategic research activities aimed at improving local farming practices that is for sustainable food production. Speaking during a 3-day workshop at the institution, the external linkages and collaborations officers at Rongo University, that is Enoch Makoma, has stated that the collaborative efforts involve local farmers as well as researchers from Kenya, Canada and Brazil, whose major aim is to address the issues of food insecurity, which has further been worsened by climate change.
Since we started partnering with Rongo University, we got to what we call capacity building, which is enough for us to make good use of our cages. And I want to assure the team that we are able to produce enough tilapia which can feed the entire county. We also get support from the county government, whereby they send the facilitators to educate us on how to go about the fish caging.
So already we've crafted a vision for the project that is going to run for 5 years. And now this next stage is to roll out one important activity of the project, which is research. And therefore this workshop was simply designed to give participants a hint and to enable them acquire basic skills and knowledge that they are going to use in the process of carrying out research in Migori County and beyond.
Well, over the years, we have trained a number of community media on content development, and I think quite a number of journalists from Migori, Homa Bay, and even beyond have benefited from our training. We believe that there is more information on their radio stations, on different media stations, community media stations, on both development issues as well as agriculture and farming issues.
Through the community radio, the few extension staff who are available will be able to spell and pass the information to farmers.
All right, away from matters agriculture, now to trade and also matters protest, whereby traders neighboring Chieni supermarket in Laikipia town are accounting losses after their businesses were vandalized and torched during the anti-finance bill protest. The business owners stated that they have been reduced to beggars, lacking ways to sustain their family needs, and are now calling on the national and county government to consider compensating them so that they can restore to their previous state.
Siku ilipofanyika hiyo mambo, hatukupata kusaidika kwa gari yenye tuliipata saa 6 za usiku na ilikuwa imetoka Nyeri. Alafu kuna ile ilikuja kutuuzia maji, ilitushtisha shilingi 10,000. Kwa hakika shilingi 10,000 hatungepata, kwa maana sisi tumechomekewa. Sasa tunashindwa tutafanya nini? Sasa tunauliza, sisi ni wa kaunti ya Laikipia ama sisi ni wa Nyeri? Kwa sababu wakati gari ya Nyeri imetoka ndio imekuja kutusaidia, kuna shida mingi.
Sisi license tulilipa, mlikuwa mkikuja na fujo sana ndio tulipe license na tukalipa. Lakini wakati sisi tumepata jaga kama hii ya moto, hatumuoni. Muko wapi? Hiyo ndio swali yangu kwa county government. Muko wapi nyinyi? Hapa tuko na hata kitu ile tunasikia tuko ndani ya municipality. Hatujaona hata hiyo municipality ikikuja kusaidia.
Psychologically we have been affected too much. So mjue hasara si mambo na mali peke yake. Hasara ni kuamka asubuhi, ulikuwa mwajiri, ulikuwa na biashara yako, sasa hauna kazi. So hasara ni kubwa zaidi.
All right, and taking note that today is the 7th day of July. Remember, the country annually or yearly has been marking this day, that is Saba Saba. This is, a significant date in the country's history. And today, the youth, that is among them the Gen Z and also the millennials, had organized something called the Shujaz Saba Saba Day here at the country's capital. And currently, we are joined by our very own George Maringa, who is joining us from Nairobi's Central Business District. Maringa, if you can hear me, what is the latest and what is taking shape in the CBD in relation to this date, that being Saba Saba?
Indeed, good afternoon, Moiga and our viewers. Absolutely, the 7th day of July, of course, remains a historic day, especially for this country. But, of course, this year had been planned, rather, due to the advent of the protests and the activities that later followed. The young people, especially the Gen Zs and other Kenyans, have decided to mark it in a specific way. We are here in the Central Business District, just about in the precincts of Kenyatta Avenue. And behind me is a police truck, actually, that just passed with a contingent of GSU officers who are just trying to patrol. Remember, there is just a lot that has been said will happen today, according to the flyers and posters that you can see, is that there will be a march from CBD, from here in the CBD to either the Holy Family Basilica and also the All Saints Cathedral, where an interdenominational service is taking place just about now, or could start at around 2 p.m. Now, that interdenominational service will later culminate with a procession to Uhuru Park Gardens, rather Uhuru Park itself, where it is being called Shujaz Memorial Concert to honor the Kenyans who were killed during the protests. That is just how the CBD looks like, Moiga and our viewers, because we're just waiting to see what is going to happen. No much activity yet, but you know, the group of young people have gathered just minding their own business. But as is the norm, as you will know, is that these protests have taken quite a different form, especially in the manner of implementation and the manner of passing the message. The city looks clean and clear. These are some of the parts that have, you know, been a sea of humanity, especially in the last fortnight, as demonstrators, youth, young people, Gen Z have chosen to air their messages. You can see that group of young people who are, going about their business, some dances over there, some street photography going on, groups here and there, just about right here in along Kenyatta Avenue. I did tell you that earlier on, a police truck bearing a contingent of GSU officers passed us to be able to, just hold patrol and just ensure that the security situation is quite monitored. Remember, there has been each side, especially the government, maintaining its stand regarding these protests, and also the young people, the Gen Z, also maintaining that they will still continue to mark this day. Now, there will be that concert. It was scheduled to start from 12 noon to 7 p.m. and the entry is actually free. We were there earlier on, and you did see, some preparations here and there. There will be some artists, Calligraph Jones, Bien, Fena, Nameless, Octopizo, Charisma, Giuliani, Eric Wenaina, a contingent, an array of artists that will be able to entertain and, of course, mark this day. Remember, in the previous years, this has been marked by the older generation, the politicians to be specific, but of course, this time, the Gen Z, the young people, have decided that they want to mark it in a specific way. So we're just going to monitor the activity here. We've given you the lay of the land, but we'll continue giving you updates as and when they happen. Back to you, Moige.
All right, thank you, George. As you have stated, quite a new wake when it comes to protest, especially by the Gen Zs and the millennials. Remember, this date is quite significant, taking back all the way to the year of 1990, the date being the 7th of July, whereby Kenyans went to the streets to demonstrate for free election, and top politicians, among them Kenneth Matiba and Chris Rubia, among others, were arrested on that day. Quite a different day. What will happen today? George Maringa is on ground to keep us up to date with the details. So keep it TV47. Now, in other news, the Kipsigis community clans have opposed the plan to acquire 800 acres of land for the expansion of Kericho town into a city. The clan leaders opposed trials to pressure local leaders to pass the bill regarding land stock. Also, the elders have sent a strong message to their senator, that is Aaron Cheruiyot, who they said is allegedly making decisions without community's consent. The Chelimo land, which borders a multinational tea estate, had been proposed by Kericho leaders for projects aimed at boosting the region's economic growth.
Community says no to the 800-acre deal or talks. We are telling the Senator Aaron Cheruiyot, calm down and listen to the people. An individual cannot decide on behalf of the people on such sensitive land matters. We are telling also the MCAs here in Kericho not to pass any law because they have pressure from BAMBA to pass a law for 800-acre farm. Acres, and we don't know where those 100 acres are.
If you look at these old men, all of them are old. We are fighting for our people. I mean for our youth. Because we can see focus ahead, there will be a problem. Because most of them now are not even in school.
And to matters climate change, over 2,000 participants across Africa, with more than half of them from various countries within the continent, have concluded Nairobi's summer school program in a conference that was held in Chuka University. The program is set to target creative youth with an interest in climate change action, closing the gap that has been existent in the global south. Delegates present also noted that climate change has posed threats to different sectors, including trade, education and agriculture. The conference was also attended by leaders from Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance.
The team has been very, very good. They have been taken through the instruments of giving them the power, the youth power, to negotiate for climate justice globally.
It's no mean feat to organize a meeting like this from countries, more than 80 countries and more than 300 students, and also having reputable resource persons.
We have a fund, Climate Justice Impact Fund for Africa, which, if they demonstrate from what they have learned, connecting now theory into practice, they can get some money from us.
This climate school has been so very informative for me. I go back home with innovative ideas on how to tackle water scarcity, especially because majority of our community that is vulnerable depend on agriculture for their livelihood.
Now, still on matters youth, but to a different topic. A number of youth from West Pokot County have been trained on business planning and development through the Ajira Poa project. The youth were given grants worth 800,000 Kenya shillings by the Anglican Church Services and Dan Church Aid, using funds from the Danida organization to help them start businesses and shun from criminal activities. The program, that is also being undertaken in Nakuru and Nyandarua counties, targets 1,500 youth to equip them with market-driven skills to help them secure jobs or start businesses.
This project has really helped the youth, and especially we have reached a number of 1,541, which are surpassed. So we thank God for that, and I don't want to add more.
Capacity building for them, and as you can see, even